It's like it's a dash that ends up orbiting.
Is it a dash that ends up orbiting? That's
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't know if they use the same code as steel cables. They've updated it, and
I think it's more of the same code as Circling Eagle.
You're right. You're right, actually. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one. Let's jump back into the draft because Harith, as mentioned before, was banned out. They went into the carry. They went into the carry. Why?
And then we come out with the Glue and the Irritel. Yup, all good Angela combos. This is how you would usually want to draft when you have an Angela on your side.
Dude, I don't get it. Why don't you want to play Moskov here? What's wrong with Moskov? What you saw the first 3 non-tanks and you're like, yes, carry is the answer.
I don't think it's terrible, actually. I actually don't, because like Angela kind of turns evil into tanks. So you benefit from it a bit more, and you don't have to aim against Joy.
Sure, but your dash is shorter compared to Moskov, so getting away from a hard guard is already going to be pretty difficult. Moskov has natural peel in case somebody does eventually have use of the hard guard, and they go for Ruby instead of just going straight for Esme here. Okay. Sure, I guess the Ruby makes a lot more sense because you want the added bit of utility rather than just peeling off the shields, but both of which would have been totally fine. I thought it was an Esme for sure for Fondir, but okay, I'm down for Ruby. I'm down for Ruby.
Esme would be good into Joy and Angela, but maybe a little less good against CC, and they want to at least make sure they don't completely lose out the lane, and then Ruby will provide you extra CC and heals quite a lot from Glue as well, so
yeah,
I can see it.
Hey, it's just picking 2 options and really just walking down that road, right? Again, plus and minuses all across the board, but generally speaking, I think TODAK actually has a decent side of the draft besides that carry. I think if we're going like per lane, overall, I think Untitled have a couple of advantages, but the team fight is really where it's going to break down and where hell is going to break loose between both of our squads here as we go in to the Land of Dawn. TODAK, fortunately, facing off against Untitled at match point.
The walls are broken once again, which means it is open season for both of these teams. Only one will be able to come out on top. Will Untitled secure their second ever clean sweep in MPL history. Oh wait, no, that's his.
He's stealing. Yeah, he's stealing it.
Stealing.
I was wondering why Zion wasn't immediately hitting the buff. It's like, where is he? And he showed up on the enemy's orange buff side. A successful steal, knowing that level 1 is in their favor. Guess what? It's Angela mid lane with Glue as support.
That is so well played. Good job, Zion. Actually, an excellent call. That is going to give them advantage over the early game for a while. They still lose the Litho, though.
Yeah, they still lose the Litho. That's kind of whatever. Litho EXP compared to a full buff EXP, big difference. But generally, this is good foresight coming in from TODAK. Zion Senpai and as well as Dreams understood that Rasi literally cannot do anything to affect this lane, and Stoam just has to give the discount on the mid lane tax. Now we look at the emblems here. Bloody Hunt. Oh no, Dreams is in trouble.
He's walked a little too far forward, surrounded by 4 people. First blood to Kimin. That makes up a little for the stolen buff.
Why didn't he flicker? I don't understand. Did he recognize that he couldn't get out of it fast enough? He could have flickered upwards and then walked to the top side towards Fondir. I don't know. Dreams has been getting caught up in some pretty awkward spots. Rapid boots, purchased by him, gets back into the fight.
Oh, Zayed's still going to be a full level ahead right now. Iron.
What was that?
Did that pull a goo?
Did that pull a goo? All right, it's time. Prod, pull up the instant replay. This is real good time.
Where did that hook go?
When it disappeared into existence.
Did that pull a tiny goo? Is that how it works?
I don't think it's supposed to work that way, I'll be honest with you.
Well, for now, they're controlling the turtle. TODAK going to be able to take it for free since Zayed definitely has a level lead. Hard guard comes out, gonna get pulled in with the I'm offended. Curtain call, locked Fondir and Zayed together. They find the kill on Ruby.
These responses coming in from TODAK are kind of slow. I would have expected Zyme to instantly, quickly throw out that traction beam or something. At least throw his the Sardarlium at him, just to slow him down. Surprised that it ended up this way. Fondir ended up dying for pretty much nothing at this point. And Siska, he's not really winning the lane, but he's doing, like, I don't want to say he's breaking even. If there was a henge, he's looking literally right at the top of it. But Skyzet now right on top of Loliel is really good play.
Hard guard comes out on Rossi. Looks like they were planning to maybe dive tower, but they weren't able to find the catch they wanted. Now Zayed comes in, rolls, connects with the glue. Iron Hook misses when he was slowed by a Baxia, by the way.
It's that Rossi movement. You don't know. You just don't know. Rossi's living in Dreams' head right now.
I never would have expected him to walk forward.
Nobody does. I think that's the worst. When you play in like high mythic and the guy just walks in a straight line or just stands still, that's when it pisses me off. It's like, darn, you're really in my head, sir. You're really in my... You figured it out.
Meanwhile, Rossi just not thinking. You never know, right?
Thoughts empty. Only good vibes.
You can only fall upwards.
2-0 so far. Almost getting to that 1,000, but TODAK quickly back on with Zyme Senpai, helping Zayed to catch back up in terms of farm. Actually finding a level lead of his own against Keemin at this point of time. Now, Keemin, he's been getting some good engages here with the help of Rossi, as well as Storm, which gives them a lot of confidence, right? But so far, Loliel still a level ahead. He has been winning out on these River Crabs against SkyZ.
So far, we can see Loliel does have the slight EXP lead, so that is probably because SkyZ was pulled over to participate in fights. Zayed now colliding with Rossi once again. TODAK wants control over the Turtle Pit.
We're gonna dance around it for a little bit, but we've seen this time and time again. Especially on the Broken Walls map, it gets hard. Keemin already getting his Genius Wand. Siska with a War Axe so early on. This is what you want to see, because now, wait, hold on. They've got Storm on the top side of the map to initially get the push and also get a little bit of extra gold. So this is why they didn't want to put the Angela on Rossi instead. Give it to Storm.
Rossi does get hooked in, going to get bursted down. Sky Pierces that going over. Hard guard comes out on Keemin. He's chasing Fondir, not able to find his Ziska with Vengeance. Not going to survive for long. Loliel pelting him down. They will find Zyme Senpai in exchange. TODAK dropping really low. Storm with the flicker forward on the Angela. Gets the last hit and sets it up for SkyZ. Untitled. Playing clean.
Beautiful stuff coming out from Untitled. A great flicker coming in from Storm. Cross-map play, still participates, still secures the kill. Storm doing it all.
Those love waves actually hurt a lot more nowadays than you would expect, and we get to see an instant replay of that. TODAK thought they were the ones in control.
Oh my god.
Flickers forward, the Angela, right in your face.
Dude, that's actually so funny because Loliel's, if he didn't auto-attack the River Crab, he probably would have lived. The literal 0.2 seconds of him hitting a crab caused him to die.
So I'm literally looking at him and saying, your greed disgusts me.
Spits in his face. You better watch yourself. Check yourself, boy. 3.9 to 3.2. What a huge swing of gold. From 900 down to 3.1k in favor of Untitled, and this gold lead is not going to go unchecked. First items have already come through. The only person keeping up to the task right now is currently Loliel's. Zayed hasn't even finished a full item, just components.
He is nearly 1,000 gold behind Keemin, and he stole his first buff, by the way. That's how this game started. And we're only 6 minutes in. It hasn't been that long.
It really hasn't. And Keemin, very greedy with the Genius Wand, but necessary considering the status of the game. With Fondir already on the push on the top side of the map, let's see where Untitled wants to attack next, because it feels like they just want to maintain pressure on this bot side, contest every wave, make sure that Loliel's wastes time walking back and forth.
So far, TODAK still not really finding the angles they need to attack from. I'm still having some doubts about teams picking up this Franco. It's so dependent on whether you're able to actually start the fight the way you want. Now they want Zyme Senpai to flicker forward from Rossi. My goodness, look at that first. But they did find the Iron Hook on Keemin in the mid lane. Loliel gets that kill.
All right, so good trade either way, right? Actually, a better trade technically for TODAK's side.
Another hook onto Rossi. He gets 2-man stun. TODAK do not want to fight that.
Hey, they popped the light wheel though. They got that out of the carry, so that's at least one cooldown they don't have to worry about for the time being. This is very doable for Untitled.
Another hard guard on Siska. Turtle dropping low. Wow. Storm gets the last hit. Zayed a bit too late to the party. Flicker forward from Fondir. Doing some good damage, but it's not quite enough. It's 3v3. It's technically 2v2. Okay, there's a lot of riding happening on Untitled right now. They're still going for it. The flicker forward from Storm just to get into a better angle to escape. And Untitled will disengage.
All right, thank God that Iron Hook was at least in the right direction. Wow, that was the most nothing fight I've ever seen. Zayed, unkillable. Siska with an Angela heart guard, unkillable. They just sat there eating shots.
I think it's funny that Rasi saw Stone riding Siska and is like, I want to do that too.
Me too, me too. Let me get in on this, big bro.
Oh, Keeman in some trouble. Gets the heart guard out. Dreams already used the Winter Crown. Here comes Rasi. Do they want to die for this?
Do the
Looks
thing.
like they will. Conceal gonna be used for Rasi. They'll just go for the tower instead.
No, they're gonna back away for the time being, and Zyme has really been struggling to get in on these fights. Every single time he's been remotely charged up, he has been jumped on pretty often by Siska, and let me tell you, that Vengeance really punches back since he doesn't have the Blade Armor just yet.
Here comes the heart guard once again on Keeman, looking for the backdoor entry. Zayed and Fondi are gonna be the first targets. They are able to walk away. They're pretty bulky. No casualties here.
Doesn't find much. Man, we need to see TODAK initiate with Zyme alongside Dreams to start the pickoffs. Because right now, it's just tempo is not in their control right now, and Untitled are running away with basically everything that they have, right? 4.3k in the bag, and not to mention that Rasi has been quite the nuisance here overall. He's been taking a lot of damage, and eventually that's going to stop, and I would imagine that Dom Ices are already on the way, if not complete by this point for TODAK.
TODAK situating quite a lot of players in the bot lane. Lord is coming up in 5 seconds on top half though, so not too sure if they're gonna be able to get much from that.
Gotta take their time here. Lord spawn 9 minutes into the game. Untitled, really, there's nothing for them to really rush, right? They can wait for SkyZ to get 3 items before actually starting this off, but is Fondir gonna respond to that, please? I'm offended? No? I'm... Brother man? Brother man? Okay.
Take your time.
Just take your time with it.
Zyme got jumped on by Rasi, but Untitled not looking for a fight just yet. They do scout out that Zayed is in the area. Lord has officially spawned. Untitled in control of it for now.
Okay, after setting up a slow push on that top side, TODAK now looking to take the space back, right? And you can tell that Untitled a lot more respectful to TODAK this time round. They don't want to throw their lead just yet. They know that usually when it comes to these Lords, that's when things get very, very scary, very dangerous. They're going to go for a full reset here while mid lane gets pushed out.
I wonder if this is going to become a common thing, or if it's specifically hold on, I'm offended, Flicker going to be used, but comes the Vengeance and the Heart Guard. This guy just does not care at all. Lord has already been taken. Zai going to be pulled back with the glue. TODAK trying to keep him alive. They will succeed in doing so. Iron Hook finds the glue. Rasi going to be pulled back into the tower. Untitled want to see if they can save him. A Mortality popped, but there is no way for Rasi to escape this time.
Rasi sacrifices his life, but they still get the Lord. Unfortunately, these Iron Hug's dream has finally expunged Rasi out of his head. Zyme now getting a little bit more pressure, is able to do some significant damage. The only problem is that Keeman has been scaling this entire time. If Lolios or even Zyme find themselves in a 1v1 against Keeman, a high likelihood that they will lose a battle spell or just die.
Oh, they actually collide with Keeman though. They lock him down right outside the tower. Heart Guard too slow. They found the joy.
Beautifully played. Great chain CC as well. That's what you want to see, especially in a lineup like this, because Keeman could have easily got out of the way with the Electrify, either triggering the Electrifying Beats to get the extra movement speed, or just naturally dashing away, which he was trying to set up for. Looking back at the items, Radiant Armor finally completed for Zayed's side. We do see a Sky Piercer come out from Zyme. I guess somebody's got to finish off these kills.
I have actually been seeing some of those Sky Piercer procs from the side of TODAK, so if Zyme is able to continue keeping himself safe, he can genuinely become quite the scary DPS a little later on. So far, Untitled still holding on to the 4K net worth lead. 3 items completed on most of the players.
Wow. This is interesting. So, based off of the items and based on the item build list, it looks like Zyme eventually got the glowing wand. But Dreams going for a hyper greedy Franco build.
Here comes the conceal. They find the Franco. Rasi gonna be the one to initiate. Look at the damage coming out from Irritil. Heart Guard gonna be used on SkyZ as well. They're chasing TODAK. Fondir gonna be next target. Has to use the flicker. You can already see the damage from the heavy crossbow building up.
Stacking up fast. SkyZ as well as Keeman. Currently highest DPS in the game as Keeman hits level 15 and gets a Wishing Lantern as well. He's so far ahead at this point. Zion 3 levels down, manages to get his purple buff, but Rossi, just look at the amount of coverage that he's getting, right?
I'm offended onto Siska. Vengeance comes out. Heart Guard gonna be used as well. He's able to just walk away under the tower against 4 people.
Nothing to worry about. Since Storm has been building to make sure that he can keep his team alive, I want to see more cross-map plays, but it needs to be set up by the side laners, if not Storm himself. Siska generally wins out a majority of his 1v1s. I think with Fondir building into not Bloodlust Axe, that's the old one. War Axe into Brute Force Breastplate, he's never going to die as long as there's a wave, right? It's a net negative from both sides if they fight.
He's never gonna die as long as he sticks to Rasi, basically. Yeah, that would be the ideal, actually, if Fondir is able to bait the Rasi ult onto him instead of any of the squishier backliners.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Now we see, once again, it's the same 4-in-1 setup, right? The cross-map play in Storm to get the lane pushing on the opposite side, and TODAK must make a decision. Do we respond to the top side and give up that Lord, or do we take the space now and then send somebody up to that top side to maybe make Untitled feel pressure?
Untitled still playing calm and collected right now. They've got Stone pushing top lane. They've got SkyZ near the bot lane to make sure that doesn't get shoved against them either. TODAK has to stick a lot closer together. They gotta protect their backline.
Let's see how long they can protect it for. Because Loliels, he can basically burst anybody on the side of Untitled now that he's got the Trinity build. Wait, they should actually try it. Well, never mind. It looks like they made the decision a little too late here. They could have just pressured the mid lane and forced Keeman out of position. But instead, they back off. By the time they made the choice, it's too late.
Doing a great job controlling the Lord the entire time. And Storm actually pushing out. Someone is going to have to eventually respond to that top side. So that means TODAK needs to make a decision here.
A nice little slow push for the side of Untitled. Wanting to make sure that it feels good for them, but it's just a lack of information. So even the mid lane gets shoved out.
Oh, Rossi with the effect. Aggressive flicker forward with the bloody hunt. Finds Keeman in the mid lane. Gets bursted. Heart Guard doesn't come out in time. Rossi gonna be bursted as well by Loleo Siska, trying to chase down the carry. Pops the Vengeance, but gets pulled in with the I Am Offended. And Rossi will be finished on the Iron Hawk. Dreams finds the target. That's a killing spree going over to Loleo. Storm now has to get back to protect Siska.
Now that's the Dreams I remembered from MPL Indonesia. He's landing some sick hooks through his teammates and turning that fight around because SkyZ could not see the Iron Hook in the middle of that chaos. And now that means that TODAK has an opportunity to turn this into a 1-1 in scoreline. They get the Lord. Finally, this is going to bring them back from the brink.
Finally breaking through the momentum that's been holding them back. Untitled definitely underestimated the aggression here. TODAK has so far been playing pretty passively, so I don't think they expected them to instantly jump onto the mid lane like that.
And they found out a huge punish. They now currently leading the kill score 7-8 at this point. They were just waiting for the Lord. Looking at the items, even situational items are already coming into play. We need to see a Winds of Nature eventually come out, but for the time being, for Loliels, he opts to go for the Rose Gold, knowing that he's most likely to face Keeman than he will SkyZ.
It's a good call, definitely a good call there. We know that Loliel is the main carry, the one that is gonna be doing all the burst damage for TODAK, and was able to get the space to do so. That's why members of Untitled melted so quickly, even though they'd been so difficult to remove before. Lord now pushing in mid.
Siska, he's got a flank angle ready to go. They're gonna wait for this Lord to come in before Siska is gonna jump.
Lord drops down to 40%. Mid inhibitor will fall. TODAK finally breaks through into the base. They're gonna look to translate this into another tower, and they will find it actually. Untitled in a bit of trouble now. They've lost 2 lanes of inhibitors. Oh, the Iron Hook! Oh, that feels bad. Hardcore comes out, Vengeance as well. Siska still alive for now, but the Fondir doing such a great job of controlling the back line. SkyZ trying to do the damage, but he's 1 hit away from death. He's gonna need to back this off. Loleo finds Keeman. Untitled not able to find the engagement they're looking for, and now Zion Sempoi with a kill of his own. TODAK turning the game around. It is a 3v5 base defense. This guy goes forward. I'm Offended pulls 2 in. Heart Guard does not matter because Bloody Hunt locks him down. TODAK have done it. They have found their first victory of Season 16.
They pulled it back from the brink. 1 lore take was all that was necessary, and then the momentum from Dreams. One hook after the other. You can miss 99 hooks as long as your 100th wins you the game.
Ooh, well played. This is what we were hoping for. The game definitely could have been cleaner. There were many points where it seemed like Untitled would be able to find that clean sweep, but they held it together. They punished Untitled for trying to play aggressive, for creating the initiations, and they finally found the opening for the breakthrough.
Impressive breakthrough, but it means at least for Untitled, it's like, okay guys, we're having too much fun. Game number 1 may not be as easy as we thought it was, but game number 2 was definitely winnable, and that's gotta sting a little.
It definitely does. You cannot disrespect this carry. That's what I was saying during the draft as well. This hero does so much burst as long as you have the space. And you do have quite a lot of setup with this Franco as well. Once you got into that late game, that is where Lolil tries.
Oh yeah. I think Lolil's just needed that iron hook to connect, man. Dreams really saved the day. He really saved the day. 2 iron hooks to get 2 important objectives. The crystal alongside with the Lord. Man, that's all it took. Even after all the whiffs that happened, he adjusted. He reprogrammed himself, and he adjusted well.
I really wish that it was a little more consistent throughout the game, though, because it definitely felt like TODAK weren't really playing the game in the first half.
Yeah, basically weren't. But I get the sentiment, and I think that's kind of why the experimentation is interesting to see Angela coming back into the mid lane the way that it was. There are some good macro aspects, but as soon as you lose that fight, these punishes are really big, and not to mention big in the sense of your entire squad is wiped out.
Yeah, I do feel like the lack of burst damage hurt them a little bit. And while having an Angela comp with lots of heroes that combo well with the hero is great, it also means that a lot of them are dependent on the hero, and you can only choose one target at once. But because of that, we get to see Lolil return to the MVP screen for game number 2.
Yep, Lolil's coming up big time in this game itself. The main source of damage with the help of a bit of setup from Dreams, able to push them over the edge. And that's the beauty of this carry. 4-1 and 5, an almost near perfect game.
Just a little bit of hiccups in the earlier stages, but that is to be expected on this hero. You just need those items. You just need that time. And you melt people so quickly. It's not even necessarily against tanks. Once you get your itemization, it's very difficult for anyone to 1v1 you unless they really have enough burst damage. And I don't think anyone outside of SkyZ had that.
He's got that X factor. He's got that clutch gene. Something that you need, especially to get you over the edge. If we cannot take examples, if we're taking an example, someone like Kelra, you need to be able, a marksman needs to be able to not only step forward to bait out an engagement sometimes, because that's the only way to get your opponents to respond.
I think because of that as well, it's really smart that he did decide to go for that Rose Gold Meteor so that he could maybe bait resources out and take 1v1s more effectively. Since until now, Untitled have basically been trying to split fights apart, Lolil knows that there are going to be situations where he does have to act independently.
Not to mention that we've seen a lot of like decent combos coming up from Rassi's side. I mean, yes, both Dreams as well as Rassi make mistakes, but I think Rassi in general, the more efficient combos to set off the chain reaction, right? The slam into the flicker on top of Lolio's